Hey everyone, so I know this might be a little late. I know that I'm technically 33 weeks by now, but just with us being so sick last week, it really ended up screwing up my schedule a little bit. So I hope you guys forgive me, but I'm going to be doing my 32-week update today. I know that not a whole lot has gone on over the last 2 weeks. It doesn't seem like a lot has happened anyway, but regardless, it's mostly just been a progression of a lot of old symptoms and just being ready for Audrey to be here. But anyway, let's just get started. I do have the little list on my phone as usual because I get so absent-minded lately. I find that that's just a big pregnancy symptom is that I can't keep track in my brain anymore. So I have endless notes, endless planners, endless lists. Like, I just find that I'm constantly trying to keep myself reminded of things. But anyway, let's get started. I do have the little list on my phone like usual, so if you see me looking down, that is why. So let's start with medical stuff like usual. So the first thing I have here is that I did go to the hospital. I think this was halfway through my 31st week, I should say. But basically all that happened, it was another gallbladder attack, so they can't really do much for me. But the medication that they'd given me previously to help deal with them was not working at all. So I had to go get some more medication, but of course, they sent me up to L&D, which they always do at my hospital, just to make sure if you're having any abdominal trouble, just make sure that it's not babies. So you have to go get a non-stress test done, and the nurse up at L&D was so convinced that I was not having a gallbladder attack, even though it said in my file and I had a history of gallbladder attacks. She was 100% convinced that I was not having a gallbladder attack, that I had preeclampsia, and that I needed to be tested, even though I'd already been tested. But I don't know, I guess she couldn't find it in my file, or I don't know. She went and rushed blood work because she was assuming that I was having preeclampsia, that I had, sorry, not having. So we ended up spending a good hour and a half up in labor and delivery because of this, which normally a stress test usually takes about 20 minutes, which was so awesome. At least she had the sense to call my OB, who was like, oh yeah, she's having a gallbladder attack, make sure you give her some pain medication. So after about 40 minutes up at labor and delivery, I was able to get some pain medication through an IV, which was good because I would have freaked out if she spent all of this extra time looking for preeclampsia, which I didn't have, and I wasn't able to get any pain relief. I would have been so upset. So after that, we got sent back down to the emergency room where we got another prescription for my gallbladder attacks at home. So really that was pretty good. It was just kind of a long haul to get some new medication. I also had my 32-week appointment right on 32 weeks. It wasn't really anything interesting. She talked about how I needed to get my ultrasound done. She booked in my ultrasound, although I think it's been booked in for a while, but she just reminded me of the date of my ultrasound, which is the week that I'm 34 weeks, not 24. And then she also said that she wanted me to get a glucose test done, which I'm very, very sure that this is something that most people are ordered to do at like 16 to 18 weeks pregnant, to make sure that you don't have gestational diabetes. I don't really know her reasoning behind her asking me to get it so late in the game. After I get this test done, I'll only have about 6 weeks left to my pregnancy, and that's if I go right till full term. So I don't know what her reasoning is, but she asked me to do it, and she's a doctor, so I'm obviously going to go get it done. It's not like I'm going to ignore it. I just feel like that's something that should have been done a lot earlier, especially talking to other pregnant women who've gotten the test done. They were like, oh yeah, I got that done ages ago. So it just seems a little odd to me. She also got me to get my rubella shot because I never got that as a child, so she gave me an order to do that as well. I also, I've been feeling a lot with my tonsils. I feel like my tonsil issue has returned, but when I was at the doctor's office last week, she did a test to get it done. She said she'd call me if anything weird turned up. So it's obviously not my tonsils. I obviously just have a sore throat, but I'm so paranoid about it now because of how awful that was at the beginning of my pregnancy that I think I'm just like overly cautious about it. I'm like, oh my god, my tonsils. I just thought that was funny, so I thought I'd bring it up to you guys. Another thing, I've been feeling like stomach sick so much lately. Like I did have morning sickness at the beginning of my pregnancy, and then it kind of continued all the way through. But lately it's been especially bad, especially after eating. And I've heard some people say that this is kind of attached to the gallbladder thing, that people with gallbladder, you tend to feel sick after eating once your gallbladder gets to a certain level of bad, I guess. I'm not a doctor, sorry. But I've heard that from a lot of people, that you just feel so sick after eating anything. Like, and I've heard some people like say, oh, well, it's just because you eat grease. And it's like, no, I could sit there and like one day I had, specific example, I had a little thing of watermelon. And I felt so awfully sick afterwards. And so it's obviously not just the grease anymore, which it starts out that way, like your gallbladder reacts worse to grease, like in the beginning. But I think it's just escalated to the point where just anything I eat, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? So that's fun, you know, who doesn't love that? I've also been finding it tough to make any of my pre-pregnancy clothes work, like any at all. Like the only thing left that I can actually make work are like my little tank tops. Other than that, nothing fits anymore. Like for the longest time, I had to wear maternity pants, because I've had to wear maternity pants since like 8 or 9 weeks. Like I've been wearing maternity pants for a long time. But I've been able to get away with tops for a long time. Well, specific tops anyway, like especially like the stretchier or the cotton tops I've been able to get away with, but it's gotten to the point where absolutely nothing works anymore. So I basically spend every day in either sweats, leggings, and like some type of plain maternity top. Like my style has just went down the drain with this pregnancy. It's kind of sad, but it just... I don't know how to explain it. I've felt awful, and that combined with maternity clothes, it's not a good combination, you know? So hopefully when the baby comes, I can get back to dressing like myself, feeling like myself. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. We're kind of, I guess I'm out of the medical stuff now. This is just kind of some random stuff that's been going on. So I've been very irritable lately. Basically anything will set me off, and it's not even like can set me off, it's will set me off. Just the littlest thing, I just have no patience for anything. It might be combined with the fact that I'm sick. Like I'm not only like stomach sick, but I have a cold, and I'm just feeling so awful, and I'm ready for Audrey to be here, that it's just so... and any little thing that goes wrong, I'm like, why me? It's so dramatic, but it's just, that's the level of patience that my body has gone to. Well, I guess not my body, my brain has gotten to, is just like, no, nothing. You have no patience to deal with anything anymore. So that's been fun. Lane's really enjoyed it. It's been great. So as for baby buys for the last 2 weeks, I actually posted a baby buy video because I had a lot of stuff and I wanted to do a little haul. So I will link that down below, and then, you know, up in the little corner. No, I'm not sure what corner. There is a baby buy haul. Link down below if you want to go see that, see what we've bought for Audrey lately. And then just for a last thing, I can no longer sleep on my back, which has been the worst. And I didn't think it would be a big deal. Like, I know that most doctors will say after 20 weeks to stop sleeping on your back, but I could not do it. I physically could not do it because that's where I've always slept. I've always slept on my back. I can't sleep on my sides. It actually hurts to sleep on my side. So I've just been sleeping on my back the whole time. But once you escalate to a certain point in your pregnancy, the pressure from the baby onto your back actually makes you feel a little nauseous. And dizzy. So I've gotten to that point where I've started feeling nauseous and dizzy if I lie on my back too long. So I've had to start sleeping on my sides, and it is so awful. I hate sleeping. It's so awful. Like, to think that this is what resting is now, that I get to sleep and try tossing and turning and being in pain. Because, like, the pressure from the baby at this point, like, if I lie on my back, it starts aching. Like the side that I'm not lying on will ache and pain, and it's awful. And then also the side that I'm lying on after a while will also ache and pain just because of all the pressure and everything from the baby. So I'm just done with sleeping. Can someone give me like 20 cups of coffee a day so I can just stay up for the rest of this pregnancy? Because I am so done. I can't sleep on any part of my body. So can I just be done? That's kind of the attitude I've had lately. It's just like, can I just be done? Like, I'm just done. Can someone put in a word for me and get me out of this? But I know she's here, and I know that she'll be here soon, and I know she's so worth it. And I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for this opportunity, because I absolutely love being pregnant, and I love the fact that I'm going to be a mom. It's just some parts of pregnancy suck. And if you've had a rough pregnancy or a long pregnancy or just a somewhat average pregnancy, anything that's been below perfect, you will know what I'm talking about. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I know some of you guys really love how real I get in these pregnancy updates, so I'm glad you appreciate it. I almost forgot to do a bump shot for you guys. One sec. This is the bump at 34 weeks. Not 34, 32, sorry. So this is the 32-week bump. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to comment down below if you guys are experiencing any of these pregnancy symptoms, or if you guys are experiencing different symptoms, and how you guys are feeling at this point in the game. Are you guys ready for your baby to be here? Are you not prepared at all? So you're like, stay in for as long as possible because I don't have this bought and I don't have this done. So just comment down below and tell me how you're feeling mentally right now, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.